Hello, my name is Phil. I'm the priest in charge of the Draycott and Len Valley Benefice, and this is my sort of sermon for the 8th of January 2023. I say sort of because I'm doing something a little bit different this week. If you've heard much of me preach, you'll know what I normally like to do is really dig into the lectionary reading or the passage that we've chosen for any given Sunday. But I'm doing something a little bit different this time because rather than unpacking a reading as I usually do, I want to think a little bit about an ancient Christian tradition that, to be completely honest with you, I've not really done before. It's not been part of my tradition in the past. But as I came to plan our services for this Sunday, it kind of came up in one of my Facebook groups for vicars. And I thought, actually, this is a really nice way to start the new year. So I don't know how many people watching will have come across chalking the door before. You may or may not, but it's something that Christians have traditionally done for a very long time on Twelfth Night, which was the 6th of January. So we're a couple of days late. But it's something that's traditionally been done on Twelfth Night as a way of marking a new year and dedicating our homes and our families to God. And it's something that traces its roots back to the Old Testament and the Passover, where if you think back to Exodus, we have the plagues of Egypt, and we get to the last one, the angel of death. And the Israelites are commanded to kill a lamb and put the blood of that lamb on their door frames to mark them out as Jews, so that the angel of death, when he came, would pass over their homes. And then from that point onwards, throughout the Old Testament, there are a number of instances where the Jews are told to write things on their doorposts to remind them of what God has done for them. The book of Deuteronomy is a very long sermon that Moses gives to the Israelites before they go into the promised land without him. And in the sermon, he tells them lots of things that they need to do to ensure that they stay close to God in the promised land and that they flourish in this new land that God is giving to them. So in Deuteronomy chapter 11, verses 18 to 20, Moses says this to the Israelites. You shall therefore lay up these words of mine in your heart and in your soul, and you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontals between your eyes. You shall teach them to your children, talking of them when you are sitting in your house, and when you are walking by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise. You shall write them on your doorposts of your house and on your gates, that your days and the days of your children may be multiplied in the land that the Lord swore to your fathers to give them, as long as the heavens are above the earth. The idea here is that by taking time to stop and write things down and mark them, Moses gives them a couple of things to mark, writing them up and put them on the forehead as well as on the doorpost. But the point is, wherever they're doing it, they're taking a moment and they're doing something physical that would act as a physical reminder to themselves day by day of who they are and who God is. And in the case of the doorposts and the gateposts there, it's something they see when they go into their house and when they come out of their house to act as a constant reminder. As I said, chalking the door isn't something that I've done before, but as I said, it pops up into a Vicar's Facebook group. And I thought, actually, that would be a really good way for us to start the new year. It's been a really rough couple of years for everyone, hasn't it? We've had COVID, we've had the cost of living crisis. Well, we're in the middle of it, it hasn't finished yet. There's been a lot of political instability. And in some ways, the changing of the calendar is a fairly arbitrary thing. The problems that we had on December the 31st don't magically go away because it's January the 1st. But even so, at the start of a new year, it's a time to look forward, to think about our hopes, our dreams, and our plans for the coming 12 months. There's so much that we can't control, there's so much that we don't know that lays ahead. But what we can know is that the same way that the Israelites entered the promised land, knowing that God was going into that new land with them, he's going to go into 2023 with us. And in the same way the Israelites were meant to write this on their doorpost to remind themselves of what God has done for them, we can put reminders to ourselves that he is with us throughout 2023 and always. And also, as a slight sidebar, I think it also has a really powerful potential to be an act of witness to our neighbours. One of my hopes for 2023 is that this is a year in which we, as a benefice, start to get really, really good at inviting our friends and neighbours to come to church, and of being really welcoming to our friends and neighbours when they take us up on that offer. And I do know that not everyone is comfortable talking about their faith with their neighbours and their friends. But maybe when neighbours see the strange writing that we're going to put above our doors, and they come to us and say, "What on earth have you done to your door?" then explaining actually to something that we've been doing at church, and this is what it means, is a way of starting to talk about our faith in a way that feels safe, because we're talking about something physical and actually we're responding to questions of a quizzical bystander. I give you that to think on as well. So what's going to happen now is in a few moments' time, my ministry team are coming to the vicarage for our ministry team meeting. And they don't know this yet, but when they get here, I'm going to take them outside and get them to help me chalk the door of the vicarage. And we'll film that so you can see how it's done. And then once we've had our meeting, and in our meeting, we'll make arrangements for there to be chalk and instructions in the prayer that we prayed available in each church, so that anybody that wants to chalk their door can come to your parish church, grab some chalk, grab that prayer, go home and do it for themselves. And they'll have that above their door this year as a reminder of what God has done for them, and a reminder of the prayer that's been prayed over their house this year. It's not for everyone. Like I say, it's the first time I've done this, but I do urge you, whether you want to do the chalking or not, to think about what's happening this year and think, actually, what can I do to ensure that God and his love for me is at the front of my mind this year? It might be the chalking when you go in and out of your house. It might be a post-it note you put somewhere. It might be a note on your phone. I don't know what it is. Different people work in different ways. But as we head into 2023, we know God is with us. So let's think about ways that we can put physical reminders out for ourselves, so that when things get tough and when things get hard in 2023, we remember that God is there. So I'm going to turn the camera off now, and I'll reappear outside in a coat with my ministry team in a few seconds' time for you, so you can see how we chalk the vicarage. So as promised, I've recruited the ministry team to help me chalk the house. We've got Karen on camera. Hello, Karen.
Hello.
Other Karen's going to remind us what we're doing. Barbara is going to say the prayer, and I'm going to do the chalking. So take it away, Karen.
Okay. When we're chalking our doors, we're asking God's blessing on our home and on those who live in it or visit the home. We're also giving an invitation to Jesus to be a daily guest in our home. Our comings and goings, our conversations, our work and play, our joys and sorrows. And how we do this, above the front door, we write 20 plus C plus M plus B plus 23. C and B stands for Christus Mansionem Benedictat. May Christ bless this house. And the plus sign represents the cross, and the 2023 is the year.
So now Barbara's going to pray for us, and I'm going to do the chalking.
O God of light, bless this house and this family. May this be a place of peace and health. May each member of this family cultivate the gifts and graces you have given them, dedicating their talents and works for the good of all. Make this place a shelter in the storm, a haven of rest for all in need of your warmth and care. May all who come and go find healing, refreshment, and new life through Jesus. And when we go out from this place, may we never lose sight of you, sight of your light, as we go about our work, our study, our play. Keep us faithful and make us witnesses to your love. Amen.
Amen.
And the main thing is the thought, not the fact it's legible or the fact the chalk lasts the entirety of the chalking.